Networking and marketing made simple is for you, the business owner that has a product, service, or message that you truly believe in. My name is Scott Aaron, and each week we'll take a behind the scenes look at real world networking and marketing tactics while leveraging LinkedIn to get what you have in front of many more people. Thanks for spending time with me, and let's get started. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Networking and Marketing Made Simple. Super excited for today's episode for two reasons. Number one, we are talking to another incredible entrepreneur. Obviously, you guys love the interview episodes, which that's what you get every single Thursday. But number two, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, which is email marketing. And there's a lot of people out there that think email marketing is dead. It's only on social media, but all the workshops that Nancy and I put on, the people that come into the various offerings that we have is through the efforts of our email marketing campaigns, whether it's an indoctrination sequence or an indoc sequence or a nurture sequence for someone that's coming into our business for the first time. So we're going to talk about all that and more. So with that behind us, Heather Porter, welcome to today's episode.
Thank you for having me.
So before we talk about all things email marketing, I always like starting out the episode with finding out a little bit more the reason behind how someone got into what they're doing. So if you personally could rewind the tape of your journey in business and press stop at a particular point where you feel it was that catalytic moment for you that kind of put you onto this path that you're currently on, what was that moment for you?
It's interesting. It probably wasn't just a single moment, but I spent much of my career in corporate life doing marketing for individual businesses. And in one business that I was working with, I came across a business consultant, and they were doing some amazing things. And it was really the first time that I was exposed to people who work outside the corporate structure, but still in business. And it was just something that I said, I want to do that someday. And then fast forward a few years later, I was fortunate enough to become a mom for the second time, and I really wanted to do things differently. I really wanted to be able to serve a lot of wonderful people while really being able to have a life that can really nurture a young a young child. So that's really what was the catalyst for that launch off. And why email specifically is because I really love being able to build long-term relationships and really help businesses create that longevity and consistency across all of their content. So that is the long and short.
Awesome. So as you kind of ventured into the email marketing world, going out on your own, looking back, what do you feel now with where you are compared to where you were? What was the biggest challenge or obstacle you had to face in really going out on your own and doing things as a solopreneur and business owner?
Sure. I mean, when you go from corporate kind of entities to going on your own, you don't have the same budgets. You don't have the same ability to have as many people working on one project. You have to put on every hat there is. And so I had to, learn accounting. I had to learn how to really not just market to people, but actually have sales conversations, which is a very different skill than marketing in itself.
Now, if you got the question, because this comes up often, that and I kind of preempted this in the beginning of the episode, that there's still people that feel that email marketing is dead because there's so many emails going out there each and every day. You know, social media marketing works better, blah, blah, blah. I always tell people that if you're building your business on social media, you're building it on rented land and it can be taken away from you at any point. And when you're building a business on social media that leads to an email capture where you can then market to those people via your email, you're setting yourself up for long-term success. What is your response to people that say that email marketing is dead?
Well, I have two different approaches. One, there's the statistical approach, whereas in social media marketing, you tend to get a 2 or 3x on your investment, whereas email marketing, you can get upwards of 40x. And so that's a really massive difference. And just because not every person opens your email doesn't mean that you're not getting a response rate that is appropriate. Um, just like in social media, where you have impressions and people see things, they're not every person on there is clicking. And it's the same in email. And as you say, you don't own the platforms that you're putting content on, whereas you do own email. But also, um, you really need to have an ecosystem within email marketing. You can't just do one thing and expect amazing results. That's why pairing social media with email can be really powerful, because what you're trying to do on social media is to get them off that platform and into your ecosystem within your email list. That way you can have those conversations that's not controlled by someone else.
You know, it's I didn't know much about email marketing till about, I don't know, 2016, 2017. So I was in that camp of people that were just, you know, I was doing coaching and consulting, but I was kind of bootstrapping it. I didn't have any sort of email capture. I didn't have a lead magnet. I didn't really even utilize a website properly. I wasn't nurturing people. You know, now Nancy and I are grateful to have, you know, close to 14,000 email contacts that we can market with and to in, you know, for specific things that we're offering. What's your message to the solopreneurs, the business owners that are still not taking full advantage of what email marketing can do for a business? If you had to quantify some of the top reasons why someone should be having email marketing campaigns in place where you're building the know, like, and trust offline, what are the
Right.
top reasons why someone should be doing that?
I mean, the top reasons why is it has an incredible return on investment. It um, allows you to build those relationships in a way that you can't on any other platform. I mean, with social media, you can, you know, do some videos and you can do some different posts and engagement in that way, but there's not another way to really personalize your engagement with, you know, a one to many type situation as with your 14,000 subscribers. It can feel like you're having a conversation rather than having some stuff thrown at you. And it feels more personal, it feels more engaging, and it can really build that trust in a way that you really don't see on other platforms and other modalities.
So for the people that are kind of just getting into email marketing and they're not really
Mm.
sure what they should be doing, what are some of the common mistakes or pitfalls that you see people making in the beginning?
Um, a lot. They tend to think about their email communications and how it benefits them and not how it benefits their customers. So that's a huge mistake that we see almost everybody I work with does that to some capacity, even people who are fairly experienced. And then another mistake that we do see a lot is when people sign up to your email list, there's either no kind of welcome email, or it's very basic and sales focused rather than saying, you're part of my community now. This is what you can expect from me. This is how you can expect to interact with me. Here's some great value for you. And you can do that over a series of anywhere from 3 to 7 emails, where you really start to build that relationship. And if you only have one email that says welcome and nothing more, then you're really missing out on opportunities. That first welcome email is your biggest opportunity of any other email that you can send.
Yeah, it's really important. The first impression aspect of online marketing or even email marketing is everything. But I love what you said about, most people think of their email marketing campaigns from their perspective, not the
Mm.
potential client's perspective. And I call that the passenger side perspective. So it's putting yourself in the shoes of what that person is struggling with, what they need help with, what their pain points are. And then you bridge that gap by speaking to those pain points or gaps in their business and provide solutions, free solutions in those emails where you're giving tips and
Mhm.
suggestions, which is going to bring them closer to you. So for someone that's getting into email marketing
Mhm.
and maybe has that fear or that voice in their head that says, you know what, I don't want to send too many emails. I don't want to annoy my email list. I want to make sure that they don't unsubscribe, which we know it happens all the time. You're going to have people subscribing and unsubscribing. What's your take on people who get into that analysis paralysis aspect where they're fearful that they're over communicating, so they don't communicate at all?
Right. I see this a lot actually, and you can really test out what your audience is comfortable. The nice thing about email is you do get analytics, and you can really see what frequency does to those analytics, and you can adjust. And the nice thing about how email functions, one email is not going to make or break your business. Um, you're going to naturally see attrition happen because you're creating an ecosystem which isn't a match for them. So it's a way for you to disqualify people who aren't going to really be benefiting from your work anyway. And so that's something that you shouldn't really be afraid of. If you're not doing anything, at least set up a welcome, start a monthly newsletter, and then you can start adding things from there as you get more and more comfortable.
Yeah, I think comfortability, it's not that it's key, but you have to lean into the uncomfortable to learn how to do it comfortably. And again, to your point, one email is not going to make or break your entire email marketing campaigns. Um, Again, if you're sending low quality stuff,
Yeah.
you're going to get low quality results. And one of Nancy and I, one of our favorite books is Marketing Made Simple by Donald Miller, who has some just amazing keys to growing your email list to 7,500, because that's where kind of like the magic happens. And what you should be doing, you should be sending at least 1 to 2 emails every single week, whether it's a tip or a newsletter or just industry updates. And people actually want that. People like, if someone's willing to get on your subscription list, or they're willing to get that download, they do want to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they're trying to benefit from what you offer. Otherwise, they wouldn't have signed up in the first place. Um, Plus, if you go from the perspective of this is how it's going to benefit them, it engages them. So, you can really build that relationship on that one to many, as I said before, because you're really honing in on what they value. And so, that really engages them, and they're trying to get whatever you offer in a way that it benefits them. So, the more you give in that capacity builds your authority, builds your relationship with them, and really builds that trust that turns into a financial benefit.
So if you were to give a recommendation to someone that's new to email marketing as far as how often they should be emailing and, with that, whether it's one a week or twice a week, someone that's looking to just kind of nurture and build know, like, and trust, what are some examples of some email marketing campaigns that someone can initiate to really start showing up in people's inboxes better, getting people to click through, people looking to engage?
Right. If you have people that you've been neglecting, whether it's a few hundred or a few thousand, the best thing to do is be authentic in yourself and say, I'm so sorry. I haven't been taking as good of care of you as I can. Here is some great value. Here's what you can expect from here on out. And you really set the tone for what you're wanting to offer moving forward. And then, of course, you have to deliver on that. Um, and so usually you can build some excitement through that, and you can start talking about the things. I mean, if you're in a business, you're interacting with your customers in some capacity anyway. You know what's going on with them. You just put those into your emails, and then that resonates with even more people, and that just brings more and more people closer to you. So just take what you're hearing and turn it into value for your customers.
I think that's an important thing to kind of take note of is that value, value your customers, your potential customers, the people on your email list. People invest in people that they see as a value added resource to their life and their business. That's you open up emails from those people, you listen to their podcasts, you download their free stuff, you go to their workshops, you engage in them. You can't expect people to invest in you if you haven't invested in them. And that's what I really love about email marketing. I email my list minimum of twice a week. And the benefit, and I will say this, the benefit to having a podcast like the one that we're doing right now is that gives you a reason to reach out to your list because they're on there for a purpose. So if you want more people to listen to a podcast episode, you got to email them to let them know, hey, I just released a new episode. You should check it out. So whether it's a LinkedIn newsletter, whether it's a regular blog on your website, whether it's just regular posts that you've made on social media, whether it's a podcast that you have, or maybe a YouTube video that you uploaded, those are all reasons to email your list. So what's your message to that entrepreneur that's listening to this that is still, I don't want to say skeptical, but maybe a little weary that stepping into the world of email marketing is going to be a daunting task. It's going to take them a really long time. It's really hard to set up. What's your message to that person?
It's easier than you think. And you bring up a valid point. Sorry, I'm just going to step back for a second, because I heard you say you need to have a reason to email people. And I think that's something that we want to all be consistent, and consistency is incredibly important. But at the same time, if you're just emailing because you're supposed to email every Thursday, you're not going to get the same impact as if you're not creating a valid reason as to why you're emailing, that benefits your customer. So I just want to get that out of the way. And then back to your question about those who feel daunted, or those who feel like they're skeptical. um, One, it's really inexpensive, and you can hop on a platform and be up and running in a very short amount of time. And if you're really stressed about that, you can hire someone. You can hire someone like myself, or um, that can set that up for you. And just, it's really not that expensive to get that done. You get it up and running, you set up your first automation, and then you send out your first email. And that first email can feel stressful for your first time, but if you have a partner with you, it feels less stressful because they're going to help you steer you right. But whether you're in a position to do that or not, just do it. Like you said before, there's you're not going to be you're not going to lose your business because you send an email. You're just going to find an opportunity to learn something and keep moving from there. Um, so yeah, just start, and then over time you'll see the benefits. And that's my advice.
Yep, consistency is key, and you just got to start. If you never start, you can't find out if it can work or if it won't work. But again, trying something is better than not trying it at all. So, Heather, as we start to wind down, before I get to my final question, if people are interested in learning more about you, your services, what you offer people, first and foremost, who do you best serve as far as from a client standpoint? And those people that you do serve best, how should they best get in touch with you?
Yeah, the people that work best with me are people who have at least a small list. If you've got 0 people, then your first goal is to start building that list. Um, and then if you're just getting started, I can help you set up your system, or you can do it on your own. Um, but anyway, what you can do is you can visit my website, mythrivology.com, um, or you can reach out to me on LinkedIn and we can have a conversation. What I like to do with people who want to start doing more with email is I will set up an accelerator call, is what I call it, where I just give you some value as to where you were at specifically. And you can walk away with that and do awesome things, or we can continue having conversations. It just depends on where you're at, and yeah, what you want to do. So that's different things that you can do to connect with me. And or you can get on my email list and start learning about things that way as well.
Awesome. Well, all the information that Heather shared will be in the show notes of the episode, the description of the episode, and the email that went out, obviously, about today's episode. So, Heather, final question before we sign off today. What does success truly mean to you?
Success truly means freedom. It means having the ability to live the life that you want the way you want it. Um, Whether that's, and that definition is different for everybody. Um, for me, it's spending time with my family and being able to help people. And so that's really what success is to me.
Yeah, I could not agree more. Success doesn't necessarily have to be tied to a monetary amount of money that you make. It could be just, again, time freedom to do what you want, when you want, with who you want. And I completely agree with that sentiment. So, Heather, thank you again so much for being here today and sharing your wisdom and debunking a lot of the thoughts and feelings that people have around email marketing. I know they're going to take so much away from this, and I do encourage you guys to reach out to her. So, Heather, thank you again for being here today.
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. Have a good
Anytime.
afternoon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So again, we debunked a little bit of email marketing today. Obviously, if you've opened this through the email that I sent to you this morning and now you're listening to it, that's the power of email marketing, because you wouldn't have heard this if you didn't open that email. So again, for everyone that's listening, thank you to wherever you're listening to and from. Don't forget, leave us a rating and review on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you're listening to and from. Please give us recommendations, other guests that you have, other topics you want us to talk about. We would love to hear from you. So everyone, enjoy the rest of your days. Love and gratitude, and I'll talk to you next time. Thank you so much for checking out today's episode. If you could, please support this podcast by hopping over to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or any place that you're listening to this. Leave us a rating and review. Let us know what you loved most and what you would like to hear more of. But also, if you would like to learn how to take your business to the next level, whether it's using LinkedIn or working directly with myself and Nancy in our intimate group coaching programs, you can head over to www.thetimetogrowth.com or scottaaron.net to learn more. Thank you again for your support, love and gratitude, and I'll talk to you soon.